身近にあるもの常に気をつけてないとあまりに近すぎて見失ってしまいそう
Hi everyone, welcome to, what's the name of the podcast?
You know, we still haven't figured that out. It's going to be something like simply Japanese learning language. We're not sure. We're still figuring it out.
Well,
we'll figure it out.
Welcome to the podcast. My name is Zach.
My name is Martin Rincon.
I'm Hannah.
Our special guest for today. Today we have a pretty fun-filled agenda for today. We're going to talk about some cool stuff.
Well, we'll see if it's fun.
Play some games.
We'll see if it's
fun. We'll see. All right. Let's just first do a little introduction of ourselves, like what languages we speak, major cultural interests, anything else you think is personally relevant.
Right on. Cool. You go first.
Start with me? All right.
Yes,
So
you start.
my name is Zach. I speak Japanese, German, and of course English. I'm a senior here and studying psychology at the University of Texas at Austin. I do love Japanese culture and Japanese food, and I'm hoping to go on a trip to Japan sometime this year. I participate in powerlifting and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. Martin, over to you.
Yeah. Okay. So, my name is Martin Rincon, and I'm a returning non-traditional student because I'm 1,000 years old, and I wanted to finish my degree. And I'm back I'm doing studio art, and I thought it would be a great idea to learn Japanese because I watched anime all my life. How hard can it be, right? Right. Anywho, that's my deal. And I've been to Japan.
You lived there
At least
for a minute,
I
right?
lived there for like a year. So and then I also visited because I was doing business there quite a bit. And then I came back and kept going back. So, Hannah, what's your deal?
Well, I'm Hannah, as he said, clearly. But I'm a first year at UT. I'm studying computer science, and I decided to take Japanese because I've always wanted to do a study abroad in college.
You can look at us too. That's fine too.
Okay, I'm going to make intense eye contact with you now.
Yeah, there we go.
No, I can't look at you for that.
Well, look at the handsome guy.
Nahito.
Just yeah. Let's just relax. We're just talking here.
Okay. Thanks for pointing that out. Thanks. Yes, I always wanted to do a study abroad in Japan, so I thought I might as well learn the language because unlike all other CNS degrees, computer science actually requires a language. It's very strange. But yeah, I took that as an opportunity, and yeah, now I'm here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Hannah, for being here. Really appreciate it. We've got some questions for today, just like round table. I think one of the biggest ones is probably why learn other languages. So I guess from my perspective, I feel like I always need to learn the language of the places I'm going. Like I've worked in Spanish restaurants as well, and with Spanish speakers, and I really try and learn even the tiniest bit of Spanish that I can to communicate with them. Say just little things. Please, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This one, that one, etc. Basic numbers and stuff. And I feel like they really appreciate me. So I really try and based on that kind of learn other languages. So I really want to go to Germany, Austria, Switzerland, those German speaking countries, so I learn German. I of course want to go to Japan, so I want to appreciate the culture, and I want to learn. I don't want there to be a language barrier, having to pull out my phone and Google Translate everything.
Mm-hmm.
It might be wrong, or trying to talk to someone they don't fully get what I'm saying. So kind of having just that real raw cultural interaction with people, I think is
Right.
really cool.
I mean, for me, it's always been my assumption that understanding begins with communication, and I think language is the best form of communication. So without the language, if you don't have that language barrier between you, then you start to understand cultures, you understand people's feelings at a true level, and people start opening up, I think. And all the best times I've ever had is when I learned 100 words in the country I'm going to, And everyone's always like, wow, you speak so good, and this and that. And I was like, because I could say a few things, especially in Japan, actually.
Yeah.
Because I've traveled to China and Thailand, Japan, Spain, a bunch of places, France. And I think Japanese people appreciate Nihongo, Jin. Nihonjin, sorry. Still learning. Oh, maybe we should. So, just real quick, I'm in, we just did 601D, so I'm a beginner. I think we're all beginners.
We're definitely
Yeah,
all
we're all
beginners.
beginners. So we're in our second semester of learning Nihongo. And yeah, that's been rough. Yeah.
Also,
For me. I mean, for you guys have been killing it. I'm dyslexic, so, But we got off subject a little bit. Tell us why.
Thank you. I definitely agree with Zach when saying that traveling to a place and speaking the language enhances your experience there. I went to Mexico over Christmas break. It's January, by the way, in case you're viewing this at a later date. And I was like, one of the funnest parts was just whipping out the bits of Spanish that I know, the 5 sentences that I can speak in Spanish,
How did they react to you when you did that?
Well, Americans usually know a bit of Spanish, so it's not that impressive.
Right.
So it was they reacted normally as if I would have just said thank you in English. So, but it was fun just having being able to just say that and being able, because, you can't really just, where I live in Colorado, you can't just bust out Spanish. You're a weirdo if you do that.
Yeah.
Here in Texas, probably.
A little more normal, but still not super normal.
Yeah. So just being able to have an environment where you can speak a different language is just really cool, and have an excuse to do that.
Yeah. I also think it gives you a insight into the way that the people think.
Yeah, for sure.
If you understand, what words, what grammatical structures they have, the syntax surrounding everything, it allows you to better understand the minds truly of these people.
Right.
The Germans are really punctual and they're really efficient, and I think that their grammatical structure, it's kind of like a chicken and egg situation. You can't really tell if they're efficient because of their language or if the language is efficient because of them. It's probably vice versa. Both affect each other, but I just think it's really interesting that you can kind of see how people function more so when you understand their language as well.
Yeah, I mean, how many times that our first teacher, Stoa Sensei or Suta Sensei, I'm still confused. You think it's Stoa? I think it's Suto.
Everyone calls her Stoll.
Okay, fine.
She responds.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was telling us that basically the difference between saying you're sorry onegashimasu, versus sumimasen, and then just the idea that culturally there's 2 different levels of saying sorry, whereas in America it's yo, sorry.
Or there's a status hierarchy too.
Right, exactly.
To people above you, even when you kanpai, when you toast, your drink is supposed to be lower if they're your boss or your superior, etc. And
yeah. By the way, guys, we started this podcast because we love the Japanese culture. I can say that, right?
Yeah.
All right. But we're going to try to talk mostly about learning the language and the problems of learning the language, the joys of learning the language. There's a lot of podcasts about the culture and eating this and that. And we'll do some of that, sure. But I think generally let's really get into the language as much as we can for students of beginning of the second semester students.
Well, I was thinking about this the other day. I've been learning German for 8 years now. And I've been thinking this is a question later, but I do catch myself just thinking in German.
Really? Cool.
Yeah.
Wait, all right. Have you I've dreamt in Japanese. Have you dreamt in Japanese yet?
I had this one really weird experience. This is even before I learned in Japanese, but there was this song and I listened to it in Japanese and then I fell asleep and then in the dream, the song was translated to English.
Really?
I don't know how. I was like, what
Was
is
it right?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy.
It was like roughly correct.
I had a pretty similar dream. Like I told you about this. I dreamed in Spanish.
Oh yeah,
And I don't speak Spanish like at all, like very little, like onesie twosie kind of words. But I was like a translator for someone, and they were speaking in Spanish, and I was speaking in English back to other people as like a translator. I don't know if any of it was correct, but for somehow I just knew Spanish in my dream
All right.
and was translating, or at least pretended to
Yeah.
know Spanish.
There's like these weird cases where like someone goes into like a coma or something and they wake up like knowing a language.
That is
Yes.
true.
So weird.
Or it's they just speak in the accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're just like, okay, and it's not, they're not faking it. Like
Yeah,
for
it's
certain,
a
I was
fake.
watching some 60-minute documentaries about that, and just it has something to do with like they have some sort of anesthesia when you're in an operating room, something, and then they wake up and they're like they have an accent. So like this Australian woman ended up with a Irish accent. Just she's just started singing. She's like, "Who's singing?" And she's like, "It was her." Anywho,
I don't know if this is real, but I've seen this video on Instagram before. It's like a 911 call, and he calls in. He's like, he's speaking in Spanish, and he's like, "Mi hablo sin español." Like I don't speak Spanish, and then the operator's like, "Oh, like necesito español. You need Spanish." Is like, no, like no hablo español. But he's speaking like he's saying I don't normally speak Spanish.
but was he?
But he was speaking
But
in
did he keep
Spanish.
the conversation going in Spanish?
I don't know. I don't remember the rest of the video, but that
So
was
like he speaks Spanish but he only understands English.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. No, like from my understanding, he only speaks English, and for some reason he like had head trauma or something. Was speaking Spanish suddenly.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of my favorite superpowers. I know this is way off course, but if I had one dream I could ask a genie, it would be I could understand any language in the world instantly, including all the contexts for that.
Yeah.
So like in America, when somebody says low key, I would know exactly what that means and why and where it came from. Like you could do that in any language. Like you would just show up and go blam. You
Just
could
know everything.
translate metaphors, anything.
be
That would be sick.
That would be cool.
Yeah, you'd be invaluable to the world. Like more than even, well, maybe not AI now. Yeah, it's getting pretty good. We're going off subject.
You could be pretty useful. You could be like an international translator at the UN.
Okay, Zach, what's it like
Yeah.
learning Japanese at UT?
It's hard.
Uh-huh.
It's hard.
Is it fun?
Toki doki.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if like the fun part comes really later.
Right.
Like it's really delayed gratification.
Mhm.
So, because like I don't really have opportunities to speak Japanese with other people.
Mhm.
So there was this one time I was at my job. I'm a server, and this lady was talking to her daughter in Japanese. I think I told you.
Oh,
about
yeah,
this.
yeah.
yeah. And I said like, "Oh, sorry. Are you Japanese? Are you Nihonjin?"
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh my god."
Did you
this
say
is-
Nihonjin desu?
I said like sumimasen Nihonjin desu ka?
Ah.
Like excuse me, are you a Japanese person or Japanese nationality? And she's like, hi, like wakarimashita. I'm like, oh my god. So like I'm sat here for maybe like a minute just saying like, oh, like sugoi, like Nihongo.
Shushin wa?
Yeah, no, I didn't quite ask
How desu ka?
Shushin but I was like, I take Japanese at UT.
Mhm.
It's like, oh my god, that's so cool, and it's like, arigatou gozaimasu,
Yeah.
nasai, have a great
Yeah.
night, thank you so much.
Mhm.
And it was just, my heart was pounding the whole time because I
Right.
was so nervous to be talking to a native, but like, that was probably one of the most like fun experiences I've had at my job.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and just from a really simple interaction. So I imagine as I continue to learn more Japanese, like go there and everything, it'll be like so rewarding that I actually put in all this effort.
Right. And I think we're starting to see, for me anyway, we're starting to see the fruits of that labor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I picked up somebody, I Uber sometimes, and I picked the Japanese people, a couple up, and we started talking a little bit about where they're from and what town they're from and where they work and things like that. And then all of a sudden, all these hours and hours that I spent, because you guys know how much I study way more than you guys to
Yeah.
get way less of a grade.
Mm-hmm.
But all those times I've gone in and, trying harder and harder and harder, it's starting to pay off. Like when we went to Asia Town, Austin, and what's it called? That area.
I don't know.
It's just an ethnic enclave for.
It's just an enclave. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
It has a name. It's
Well-
off of airport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just being able just to read Japanese, even a little bit.
You literally said when the cashier, when the cashier handed you your bag or something, or when she asked you a question or something, this woman was not Japanese at all. She literally said hi. I was so embarrassed.
Well, we were at the ice cream store one time, and
That was a rough day.
that
I
was
remember.
so bad.
That we were at the ice cream store. I was super tired. I didn't know what to order, and she said something, and I was just like, "Hi." I was like, "What?"
And then she looked at him like, "What are you on? Like, what? Are you okay?" It's like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." And then he ordered.
Yeah. So, but no, I think for me anyway, I feel like I'm getting to a point where it feels like something's happening in my brain where I can kind of understand things, I can kind of read things, and I'm at whatever kindergarten level.
Yeah.
Whatever we want to call it, but it's changed. Something in my brain's changed. Something snapped,
Yeah.
especially with kanji, because I'm dyslexic. So
Yeah.
that'd be an interesting thing to ask.
One of the senseis.
Yeah, one of the senseis.
Yeah.
Like, how many dyslexic people have they had in class before?
Mm.
Because what's it been like for you? Class learning at UT.
I definitely think I'm starting to see me actually begin to be able to understand things much better now that I'm in the second class, because in the first class it's mainly just learning how to write the things, learning the
All the
writing
kana.
systems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You very much don't really you learn a lot, but a lot of it isn't around the listening. But I've started watching a bunch of Japanese kids shows, and I've gotten to the point where I can probably turn off the subtitles and probably understand what's happening.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Really? I'd get a solid 60 to 70% of it.
You can understand it.
Yeah.
Along with the visuals.
Yeah.
Of the actual show.
Well, we were watching that Miku-san.
The interview or the news?
Not the news. The when they were talking to each other, they're interviewing each
Yeah,
other,
the interview.
and probably 80% of it was just. But we still
The 20% we knew.
Yeah.
100%.
that was great.
Yeah.
You know,
That
so
was really cool.
it felt like there was progress being made because I think most people like me, and I go to anime conventions with my daughter and stuff, and I think probably 95% of those people don't know any Japanese, at all.
Well, I
Maybe
feel like
they
the-
might be able to read a few words here and there, and that's the thing that got me going. I can learn Japanese. How hard can it be? I can read a little anime, and then no.
Read a little anime.
Yeah, exactly.
read a little anime. That's all the
Yeah,
Japanese
yeah,
language
yeah,
is just
yeah.
anime.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. That culturally, that's what I was thinking. Even though I did business in Japan, I was thinking, oh, okay, if I start with anime, then I'll be able to figure things out.
Yeah.
But no, it's just having a class is really been the thing that really makes the difference when you're trying to learn
Yeah.
something.
Because
I understand
I
that.
tried Duolingo for a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years ago.
Right.
A minute ago.
Yeah, me too.
And it's all in Romanji, so it's all in the English alphabet,
Yeah.
just to know how to say it. And then it started trying to teach me all the kana, and I'm I'm out. This is way too hard.
Yeah.
Because just from the phone and everything, the whole process seemed way too hard. But I still wanted to learn everything, so that's why I took the class, because I still want to learn, but it was just too hard for me to self-study. I need either a group environment or a sensei, a teacher helping me.
Yeah, I think definitely having other people to talk to in
Yeah.
Japanese or ask them questions.
Because
It's just-
I know there's like.
How many times you guys have saved my ass, on figuring things out,
Mm-hmm.
just because, especially Risa, is just, why don't you know this? You should know this by now.
You should, bro. No, I agree with what you said about like thinking that like, oh, I know anime, I could totally learn Japanese because I wasn't that bad, but like I definitely held that sentiment. Like I knew learning Japanese was going to be a challenge just because like I've never fucking learned a language before, so it's like going from that shift from only speaking English to speaking like one of the most different languages on this planet was going to be
Did you
difficult.
guys know that there was two different
I knew that there were
alphabets
three.
and the kanji?
I knew.
I didn't know that.
I knew at least a little bit going into it that there was hiragana, katakana, and kanji.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I at
did
least
not
knew
know
that
that. I
tiny
wish.
bit.
Yeah.
I wish I'd known that.
But
So-
one of the most rewarding experiences has been realizing how little I don't know and how much I like have to learn. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was like, I've seen so much anime. I'm probably so far ahead of everyone else. And then I get to like class and then I go to like JA meetings and I'm like, I literally know like nothing about Japanese culture.
Yeah.
Like I have such a limited view of it, and it's like there's so much more to learn.
Or there's just such like a Western fantasy of it too.
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
true.
it's
Yeah.
I feel like that's true of almost all East Asia.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like Shanghai, Hong Kong, Manila, Singapore, Seoul, Tokyo, Kyoto, etc. I think they're all pretty like idolized as being like, for lack of a better term and kind of racist, like Oriental. Like, oh, it's like so cool.
Okay.
Like,
We're totally cutting that out.
Yeah.
cut that out.
No, we're not cutting it out.
Oh my god.
Like
We're not.
it's
It's true.
I
Let's
didn't
just be.
preface
Let's
it.
be real.
I think it is idolized.
yeah, it is definitely idolized because
Yeah.
it's foreign, but
Yeah.
not foreign enough to make it weird. So like to us Americans, it's like it's just different enough
Yeah.
for us to be like, this is great. But if it was even more little different, even more, oh my god, what am I trying to say? Even more different than it is, then we probably wouldn't like it. Like,
Yeah.
'cause-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because no
they
other
have all,
culture is
well,
idolized like that.
because Japanese culture especially, and I think Korean culture also is like pretty exported.
Yeah.
Like
for
anime,
sure.
anime's huge, manga's huge. I think probably bigger than ever.
Yeah. K-pop is.
K-pop is huge.
Yep.
I'm
K-pop's
pretty sure.
popping off.
Oh, like Thai food. Thai
Yep.
food became really big.
Really came to not South. What's that thing in California? The concert that everybody loves.
Coachella.
Coachella.
Yeah, yeah.
Millie, she's a big Thai singer,
Mm.
and then she introduced everyone to banana rice cakes or something. I forgot what it was.
I don't know what you're
what you're
talking
talking
about.
about.
No, it's a thing. It's a thing. Look it up.
But-
Millie, rice something or rice.
But about Thai food, they the Thai government like didn't really have a strong cultural like
yeah, I read about that.
feel in their food. So they they got a bunch of chefs together and they just made up a bunch of Thai food and then started exporting that.
Yeah.
Like the recipes and everything.
No, you.
I think
If
like
you're
the
a
70s
Thai
or 80s or
person,
something.
I think I got this right, but they have a government department that we just remember the department.
Yeah.
Can you do the kanji?
No.
Okay.
No.
That they have a department for exporting chefs to America
Yeah.
or to
Yeah.
Europe or whatever because they know how popular it is. So they're like, oh, okay, let's just start spreading it out.
They're trying to put themselves up there.
No.
With,
I mean,
their-
Thai food is probably up there with the top
I love
Asian
Thai food.
cuisines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, they clearly did something right.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
cooking Thai food.
Yeah.
It's very fresh. But my Japanese food is pretty good too.
Your katsu's good. Your katsu's good.
All right,
Oh my
yeah.
god, your katsu's good.
Damn straight.
Oh my god.
That was the best katsu I've ever made. by the
Yeah?
way, because I was using the super thick pork,
Yeah.
so trying to get the temperature right on the oil and not overcook the outside.
It was
so-
good. It was good.
Yeah.
But what do y'all think are some like best ways to learn language? Either from like readings or like what y'all have done to kind of learn.
It's just like it depends. It's honestly like you can go about it any way, I feel, and it's just what you put into it is what you get out.
Yeah.
Like
No,
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely agree.
like if you take this, like you can go take like 5 Japanese classes, and if you don't study for like a single second and still manage to pass, you're not gonna know the language.
Yeah.
Like
If you pass,
If
if
you-
you pass, I
if
think
you
you're able to
magically
communicate.
pass.
Yeah,
magically
I
pass.
don't see, like, you say you don't, how much do you study? Truthfully, just say it. It's fine. It's only going
Like
to be on video.
outside of homework,
Yeah.
only when tests come up.
Okay.
Only when tests and quizzes come up. So
Okay.
maybe an hour a week
Okay.
outside of the homework.
Yeah. Okay. Go screw yourself. How about you?
I study for quizzes.
Yeah, so she's probably on the same level as me,
Yeah.
like an hour a week, on average.
I do a lot more. Let's say that. But that's fine. It's fine. At least it's way better than the last semester. I'm not studying nearly as much, and I'm doing better.
Yeah,
So I think there was just so much my brain had to process.
yeah. Well, 100% of it was new.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then I'm older, so my brain's not as flexible as you know, the youngins.
Yeah.
Yeah, what, you're 18? God, I can't even remember that.
God.
Yes.
For me, it's repetition.
Yeah.
Like whenever I was learning on the kana, hiragana and katakana, there's a really great website called Tofugu, and they have a quiz on all the hiragana and katakana. I did that shit like 4 times a day, just to get it in. I did it every day from the day that we started learning everything, and then I just got super. I that's how I became really good at my kana.
Quizlet too. Like, once you
Quizlet.
introduced me to Quizlet, I was like, yeah, this is it. I love this. So
I use Quizlet all the time.
Yeah. Same with the kanji. Like I had a kanji quiz today. I just wrote them all like 5 times.
Yeah.
And their meanings and their definitions, and that got me enough.
Yeah. I feel like people want like a
quick fix.
very quick fix that's not going to be difficult, and it's like
Unfortunately, it's
it's just
you got to put in the work.
you have to memorize things, and whatever way you do that.
Yeah.
it's, you know what I've felt like, so I know Spanish, okay, but Japanese, it feels like you're playing a puzzle when you don't know all the rules yet. That's how I feel like sometimes.
Yeah.
Because, just like things like the sentence structure was very foreign to me. And that took me, even though I could say to you, the subject is being described in front of the wa or the ga, and then the action of what that was happening happens after the wa. I knew that I could say that, but it never sunk in until I kept practicing it and and going, oh, okay. So every time I want to describe this thing, blah, wa, action verb, or blah, wa, object, action verb, And now it seems simple, but when you first started off, it was just like, what's going on here? I don't get it.
Well, and it's not like there's a critical period to learn language either. So like even you now are able to learn Japanese. It's probably one of the most difficult languages for English speakers. Is it easier for someone younger? Probably. Like around 10 is probably a good idea.
Nihongo no gakusei muzukashii desu. Still, right? Did I say it right?
You
No.
said Japanese students are still hard.
No. Oh yeah. It's Nihongo. Wait. No. I said.
You said
Yeah.
Nihongo no gakusei.
So how do I say it? It's Nihongo is still hard.
Nihongo wa muzukashii desu.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
No, you
No,
said
gakusei.
you said Nihongo no gakusei.
You just
Oh!
looked at a
Anyway,
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
back to English.
But I want to talk
Hold on.
Japanese sometimes.
I understand, but not when you do it
Why can't
incorrectly.
you? Wait.
What?
Well, that's what we're here.
No,
we're talking about that.
I know.
Don't make me
Hold
cry on the first podcast.
Hold on. Oh my god. Anyway, earlier is probably typically better. Like, I know in Europe they start learning English at like 7.
Right.
Like really early, and their
Yeah.
English is always phenomenal.
Yeah.
And another great method for like young kids, especially, is 2-parent system. So 1 parent, 1 language. And if you want to throw in a third, you could do it like mom speaks Spanish, dad speaks English, and then when you're outside of the home, you speak Japanese.
Oh.
That's also another great way. Or like even you could extend it to like grandparents, stuff like that, friends' houses, stuff like that. So there's kind of like it's really easy for kids to associate like oh, mom only speaks Spanish, so I can understand that grammatical structure, and there's like a level of consistency that I can expect when she talks to me. And oh, dad speaks English. I understand that. Like it's the same vein. It's pretty interesting. They won't mix up the grammar structures. Yeah, between like the languages.
I was thinking about whether you can learn something or through absorption. Just like pure absorption, like no classes, no nothing, just listening to people speak it, like past childhood.
Past childhood, probably not.
Yeah.
Right? 'Cause
I heard. All right. Well, so when I first started, I started listening to other podcasters and YouTubers talk about how their journey, and they talked about how they would just have Japanese playing in the background all the time, constantly, even if they didn't know what the hell was going on. They would still have it in the background, and eventually they got to a point where they were understanding more and more. But they were also doing what we were doing, like taking classes and talking. But I think those kind of things are accelerators. I know that.
Accelerated.
Yeah. I know that. Like when I like watching documentaries and the news. I like watching the news. I like these conversations, like that Miku conversations, because she has different levels. Like
the beginner one, which is still
We're
really bad at.
I know. God, it's not cool. But again, let's give ourselves some credit. It's only been literally 4 months, 5 months that we've been learning, like actually learning, which is not that long, I think.
Not really, no.
I mean, if we were thrown in the middle of Japan and say, all right, you got to find a job or you're going to starve to death, we'd probably learn a little faster. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think the university and our senseis has really put us in a good position. Even though it's been rough at times, I'd rather, have the pain up front than, down the road feel like, it wasn't worth it. Because I think this is going to be worth it.
I absolutely feel that UT's language programs are one of the most underrated parts about the school because they really are fantastic. I think they only hire native speakers, at least for Japanese anyway.
I mean, the other universities don't?
I don't think so, no.
That's crazy.
I know in German, one of my German professors, so she was native, and then my second one, he just knew German. But his degree was in German. That was his major.
I don't know. I'd be like, if I had shown up to class and your face was there, and even if you talk perfect Japanese, Again, there's the cultural aspects of the language that.
What if he grew up in Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if he was Nihonjin,
What
just
if I
happened to
were
be
Nihonjin?
white?
Yeah, it was just white.
Well, that's different. But generally,
Okay, I'll take
all right.
generally.
So. Like when I got a tutor, and I was looking at all the tutors, and there's a little button that says native speakers only, and I clicked that because there were other people. There's gaijin, like whites and blacks, Thai people, Filipinos. They had great. They sounded fantastic, but I want to be able to ask other questions about like why do you guys say this word instead of this word that are more cultural.
Yeah.
Right.
I could say that having a native speaker is both positive and a negative in some parts because like all of my Japanese professors have like phenomenal English, like they're great, but there is just like an ever so slight language barrier. Like
very slightly.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
slight.
I think we're picking up on the
comes up.
cultural barrier more than the language.
Well, that's the pro of it. That's the pro.
No,
of
I mean
having
like when they don't understand.
No, because still sensei, there's a difference in Japanese from like the number 8 and then like 8 times.
Right.
So like and like on our skit draft or whatever, that assignment like forever ago, I was trying to say just like 8, and then she was like picking up on 8 times. So it's like it's kind of like that, just ever so slight language barrier. That kind of.
But weren't we taught that there's never just it always has 8 of something, and it always has a different.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. She wasn't able to understand that. Like, I'm not talking about 8 times. I'm just talking about like 8, like the object itself, like the number itself, 8.
Like,
Oh.
write the number.
Yeah.
Oh.
Number 8.
Then why didn't you just say?
I
Huh?
did.
No,
I did.
no.
I did.
Oh.
It's Hachi,
That's
first of
7.
all.
Oh my god.
Guys, trust me. You won't be as bad as me.
Do not trust him.
You won't be as bad as me.
Oh my god. Yeah, you can trust him on that. Oh my god.
Hey.
Do y'all have a most embarrassing language learning moment?
Which name them? You guys have seen them. I don't know.
For
let's-
me, I did this a lot in German class because I was working in restaurants a lot.
Mhm.
I would just say K for what
Uh-huh.
instead of like the German version, which would be like wie bitte or like
Oh,
you know.
how'd you screw that up?
Well, because just even in like English, I'll be like hi
Mm-hmm.
or like so desu ka.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's the exact same transference. It's just
Oh.
I'm speaking in German, and I didn't know. I only knew German, a tiny bit of Spanish, and English, and so my third Spanish would hop in
Yeah.
German sometimes.
I've been saying like, oh, so this, just like in normal conversation.
Yeah.
And I always get like a really weird like look, like, what? Because like with the speaking test, one of the things in Japanese is that like you'll lose points if you like use like English like fillers. Like you
Yeah.
can't use like you have to say
Eto.
So yeah, so I've like trained myself
Yeah.
to like instead of using I just use eto, and like it makes sense to no one else that I'm talking to.
Yeah.
Instead of the worst, because there's so many, I'm going to talk about my favorite.
Okay.
It's the time that Sto Sensei, I was probably the worst student in the class.
Easily.
No, there were two.
No, there were some other ones
Yeah,
that were
alright.
way worse, but you put in the
Anyway,
most
I
of
was
that.
I was not on the top of the I was not on the top. All right, let's just say that I'm not on the top. But then one day
Bottom three.
we were getting our grades back, and it was for a kanji test, and then I got a perfect score on it, and she looked at me and said, "Edith," and I was like,
Like,
"Really?
Like, good job.
Yeah, good job." And I was like, "Wow." She said something so
Yeah,
nice. and
I know.
It
'Cause
was
she,
so
she
great.
never complimented you at all.
Well, yeah, because I was always like,
Uh-huh.
how many times I was in class, and then she would ask me a question, I'd just go,
Yeah, you just stop up.
yeah, just couldn't say anything.
No, but the difference between you and the other two guys that we were talking about,
Yeah.
the only difference is that you studied.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did not study.
Yeah.
Beep.
Whatever. So I have a game for us.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna give us a country.
Okay.
Well, it's for you too, I guess. So, because I already know the answers.
Uh-huh.
So I have a country, and then I'm gonna name 4 cities. 3 of them are fake. 1 of them is real. You have to identify the real one.
I'm not gonna be able to do this shit, man.
No, hey, the first one is the United States.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay. So we have Riverton, Wyoming,
Mm-hmm.
Ocean View, California, Graysport, Texas, Bloomington, Indiana.
Wait, which one's real?
Which one is real?
Oh, it's Bloomington, Indiana. Or, yeah, I think it's Bloomington, Indiana.
Well, I told you I was terrible at
Okay,
geography.
Bloomington is right?
Yeah, okay.
Good job. Another one from the U.S. Brookmont, Illinois, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Pine Haven, Oregon, Westford, Nevada.
You go, because I know it.
Is it Cedar Rapids?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bam.
Okay. Now, these next ones are way harder because they're not the U.S. So these
Okay.
ones are for Germany.
Okay.
Dorfheim, Bavaria,
No.
Eichenburg, Saxony, Koblenz, Rheinhold, Palatinate, Neustadt am Grün, Hesse.
It's definitely not the first two, but I think one of the last ones. No, I think it was the third one. How many? I couldn't even tell how many. You said 4?
There were 4 of them.
I think it was the third one that was right.
Okay. You think
The four?
Koblenz is the real one?
All right, say the other two.
So the 4 of them are Dorfheim, Bavaria,
Okay.
Eichenburg, Saxony, Koblenz, Rheinhold, Palatinate, Neustadt am Grün.
No, I'm taking it back. I think it's number 2.
Eichenburg?
Eichenberg.
Eichenburg?
Eichenberg Steinbit.
Oh my god! Okay. Hannah?
I also think it's 2.
Eichenburg? No. Incorrect.
Is it 4?
It was Koblenz. You were right the first time. It was the third one.
Dang it.
So, okay, now for France.
Okay.
I don't do a good French accent, so my apologies, French people. Beaumont-sur-Lys, Châteauisville, Laurent, Valmontagne.
I think it's the first Beaumont. That's right. That's a real place.
Okay. Hannah?
It is in Texas anyway, so I imagine
That's
if it's
Beaumont.
it's
But
spelled
okay,
the same
okay,
way.
okay. You're right.
Moichiro.
Beaumont City, Châteauisville, Léon, Val, Montange.
My 1 year in French is suffering right now. I'm gonna go 2.
It was you're both incorrect. It was Beaumont.
Really? There's
Yeah.
no
There's
Beaumont?
no Beaumont sur Lys.
Is there a Beaumont
Maybe, I don't know.
Francais?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Uh,
Are you gonna give us one in Nihongo?
Yeah, this next one is
Okay,
this next one
Nihon.
is in Japan.
Nihon.
Higashimura, Takayama, Mitsuhara, Sakuragawa.
I think Takahara. That's the real one. I think.
Takahara was not one of the answers.
Oh, it was
Takayama. was
Oh,
one of the
Takahara.
answers.
Yeah, that's fake. That doesn't sound right. Do the other three.
So Higashimura, Takayama, Mitsuhara, Sakuragawa.
I'm gonna just because East Buddha. That sounds like a thing. So I'm gonna go Higashimura. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
also agree.
You're incorrect. It was Takayama.
It was.
Yeah. Higashimura does make sense though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they
but-
name their stuff after.
Yeah, they do name their yeah. Okay, this next one is China. Xinchuan, Liaoyang, Baishan, Donghai.
Donghai.
I think it's Baishan.
You're both wrong. It was Liaoyang.
Dang it.
This next one is Korea.
Seoul.
Seoul is not one of the options, unfortunately. So
I should know this.
we have Gwangju, Incheon, Gyeongbuk, Hyangyang.
Oh wait, say it again.
So Gwangju,
No.
Incheon,
Yes.
Gyeongbuk,
No.
Hyangyang.
It's the second one.
Incheon?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with OG-san.
Okay, y'all are right. You're right.
Yes.
This next one's the UK. Bradford, Mertonford, Bexford, or Lanesbury?
Lanesbury.
You think it's Lanesbury?
No, I don't know.
You
I
don't
didn't
know?
listen. It's-
Bradford?
Oh, I'm doing this because
I know. You're trying to look at the answer.
Hana keeps getting into the shot.
I don't care, bro. I'll lean forward.
What are you doing? You can't leave.
No, I'm not leaving. I'm just doing like that.
Oh my god.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's our first podcast.
Oh my god. So
Fine.
So Bradford, Mertonford, Bexford, Lanesbury.
Lanesbury, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Bradford.
It is Bradford.
Oh,
it was
okay.
Bradford. Good job,
Cool.
Noah. Next, I have this really cool website. It's called languagesquad.com.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to listen to a language, and we got to identify what language it is.
Oh, this is easy. This will be easy.
So, sorry, video listeners, you can't see what's going on, but let's play.
Mai întâi la București, unde premierul desemnat Dacian Cioloș a fost primit astăzi cu o atitudine favorabilă, dar rezervată, de formațiunile parlamentare.
That's Polish. That's Polish. Because Portuguese and Romanian are both Romance languages, so I would expect like them to sound at least somewhat similar to Spanish and Italian.
Right.
But that sounds way more like Slavic. And
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Polish is pretty Slavic.
Yeah. It's
What?
Romania. I
What?
should have gone with my first thought.
You thought it was
Yeah.
Romanian?
I thought it was
You thought it was
Romanian.
Romanian?
Yeah.
Fuck. Maybe I'm cooked.
Okay.
Kung kanyang makukuha ang ninanais ng mas maaga,
That's
dapat
Filipino,
na
right?
Yeah, that's
na
Filipino.
balansin ang kanyang buhay at trabaho.
That's a really
At
bad
kailangan
AI voice,
ito.
but yeah, I think it's Filipino.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank God.
Bir gündeminde Ahu Özürk'le tekrar birlikteyiz. Bayramın ikinci günü.
It's gotta be
Biraz
Norwegian.
yoğun bir hafta
It's
geçirdi.
not
Hem
Turkish.
It could
Ergenekon
be
davası
Turkish.
sonuçlandı hem Suriye'nin
It's either
kuzeyindeki.
Turkish or
It's
Tüm
not.
bunlarla
It's not.
birazdan
It's Norwegian.
konuşacağız.
It's
Ancak
not Italian.
öncelikle de
It's too
bayram
close.
havası
It
geçiyor.
sounds too close to German.
Evet, bu bayram haftası biraz sakin geçecek
Yeah,
belki
but
ama geçtiğimiz hafta
sakin-
Gerçek Doğu Ergenekon davası en önemli konulardan birisiydi. Karara bağlandı. Daha doğrusu
It's
You think it's
Norwegian. Oh my
I
God!
was right, it was Turkish! Come on.
Oh, how is that man?
Oh, English is one of the options.
Te izjave ki po
not
navedla
English.
Damn it, it's not
God damn
English.
it.
da je nov zagon o pojasnevanju afere
Slovenian.
Vatilix pripeljala
Slovenian?
tudi
Slovenian.
odločba nekdanjega
Maltese?
papeža
Maltese?
Benedikta
I've never heard of
XVI.
that.
It'd be in Malta.
V ozadju afere naj bi bil
It's gotta be
I think
Slovenian.
it's Slovenian, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
ixesha intsimbi yesixhenxe
Ingongoma zendaba neziphathelwa nguAmanda
Joshua.
Mkade. Eziphambili
What the
It's
heck
in
is
Africa.
Oh.
I think it's in East Africa. Like the language, it's not a country.
I den bog, vi tidligere talte om, den lille tænkepause, og jeg tror faktisk også, det er også med i denne bog her, der er der et lille eksempel, hvor
sounds like
fra en
Danish.
biograftur,
It can't be. Danish is too close to German.
at jeg kan spørge dig, vil du med i biografen?
I heard.
Wait,
I've heard
Og
people. I've
så kan
heard.
du ikke sige henne på torvet, hvis jeg spørger
I've heard people talk Greek, and it sounds so foreign. Like first I was thinking that
It's
it
gotta
was
be
Spanish.
Greek, right?
I don't think
was
no, it's
Danish.
Danish. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Well, we got to score 150.
Well,
See if you can beat us at home.
Yeah, sure.
But I think with that we're gonna wrap it up.
yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, for listening in.
Can somebody wait before we let's say like a Japanese sentence?
A Japanese sentence?
Yes.
What do you mean?
I don't know, like
I think we should end off always with Jamata.
Yamata.
I think we should always end
Okay.
off.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to say another sentence? Like,
I don't know. Nihongo, ii desu.
wow.
No,
okay.
right?
Great job.
Nihongo.
This
No,
is not what two classes at Japanese UT looks like. He is not a good representation.
Oh my god.
No, this guy's pretty good and she's pretty good. I am.
Yeah, chigai,
I just
chigai.
the cameras. Are,
Chigai.
the cameras are making me like dumber,
Anyway.
dummerish. Anyway,
Thank
so
you, Hannah,
what
for
should we
joining.
end? Yeah,
Thank you, Hannah, for joining us. Appreciate it for our very first episode.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not saying the sentence. We're just gonna say bye to everyone.
we got it. We've said like 3 or 4 words in
Hey,
Japanese.
it's enough. We'll have more episodes.
Yeah, it's very
All
good.
right. Jamata.
Jamata.
誰かを救えたならそりゃむしろ何よりも力を与えた